Hey y'all, Noni here. Welcome back to my channel. You can call me Noni. Please like, comment, subscribe, and share. I don't really have too much of an update regarding my foot. It just is as it is at this point. I still haven't found out if I'm gonna be allowed to return that horrible physio, whatever the fuck it was, that big black thing that is supposed to stimulate bone growth. That by no means should any of you, if you ever have a broken foot, be discouraged by my experience. It could be because I already have a small fiber neuropathy, which that could have also been a factor, and it's just something I'll never know. I can tell you my right foot, or my left foot, the surgery foot, is now okay. So I don't know why, but when I had foot surgery, I somehow, I guess because there was like a big bone that was going towards the bottom, I somehow thought the incision would be on the bottom, but it's actually on the top. And today, I've always had a really deep pins and needles feeling in it, tingling feeling in it, but it's literally just the incision. I can feel it in just the incision area. It doesn't mean I haven't had other nerve-like pain in my foot, but as far as that goes, and it made me nervous, because I wanted to keep checking the incision to make sure there's no infection, nothing like that. But today there's a new fun sensation where it's the same area, it's the incision, but every now and then, I don't have my foot propped, so I need to do that real quick because it's already starting to hurt. Sorry. Hold on. I got something else I gotta do. Okay. So, this pain on my, incision, in my incision area, is very, very, very sharp, sudden, and startling. It feels like, I don't know, somebody's jabbing a big needle right into my incision, and it goes from nothing to level 10 pain that lasts for a couple seconds, but every time it happens I'm like, ah! I mean, it's so excruciating. It's one of those, if it was a continuous thing, I would obviously go to the emergency room for pain management, because it would be, I just kind of have to put up with it, I guess. It's hard. I'm sorry, I'm really tired too. But there's definitely some kind of flare going on, at least that's what Kelly says, because he says my eyes get extra poofy around here. But honestly, I think my eyes always look poofy. Yeah, I can't even see without these glasses, and then when I put the glasses on, I really can't tell. But anyway, he says whenever I'm having a flare, the eyes get extra poofy, and I do feel like I'm having some kind of flare, because as I told you, my arms are so weak, just brushing my teeth. Oh my god. Sorry. Ooh. Just brushing my teeth is, I get tired real easy. My arm gets tired real easily, which is ridiculous. That sounds totally ridiculous, but that's the fact. It's the same way that my legs used to feel when I first got this. I know I mentioned this in the last time I remember being myself video, where I went to Target and with Kel, And I went and put the cart up, and as I was coming back, like I wouldn't say I'm a fast walker, like some people are just fast walkers. I was like a pretty good medium fast walker. If you apply that to a steak, like you've got rare, medium, well done, that kind of thing. And I would say, Kelly's slower to do anything like getting out of the car. He really takes his time, and he calls me action girl, because I'm just like, boop, get out of the car, and I'm already in Target by that point. So like my speed of walking was pretty decent. And why did I feel like this was a necessary point to make? Oh, anyway, because the time I said I put the carts up in Target, and as I was walking back, I was trying to walk my normal pace. But it feels weird to say I was trying to. I just was like, okay, I'm going to go back to the car. And I just wasn't walking as fast as I usually was. And I was like, what the fuck? Like, speed it up, bitch. And I could not make myself walk faster. My legs felt so stiff, and it felt like what people say leg day at the gym feels like, But I think I've said that before. Just real heavy. Real heavy, and I just couldn't walk any faster. I was like a slave to my own body kind of thing. Like my body was calling the shots, basically, and I had to do what it says. And I'm still in that. I'm still there. But lately it's been my arms. Now, some of that fatigue could be because, like I said, because I'm down one leg, I'm using my arms more to like move myself up and blah blah. But this, I can tell you, is taking a toll on my body. Not just my small fiber neuropathy, but like both of my knees are absolutely killing me. So much pain. And my hips are killing me. Equally painful. And it doesn't matter. Like, it's weird because when I use my wedge, that's really when my knee and my hips start hurting. But I have to use the wedge. I have to keep my foot a little bit elevated. Otherwise, words. That's all I can say. Yeah, I have to keep it elevated. Otherwise, it hurts like a bitch. And it still hurts when I have it elevated, but it does seem like when I put it down, it gets worse. So anyway, that sensation's been going on all day, which is not fun. And now with the knees and the hips, I am quite concerned about what kind of shape my body's going to be in after this. Like, my left leg doesn't look anything like my right leg. Nothing. I can see bones. I thought I was just like this big, fluffy, boneless chicken nugget. But I actually have bones. And I was asking Kelly, I got concerned that, am I developing, tumors on my leg? Because there was this bone that's on my shin, but it's an inch under my knee. And I was like, is this normal? And he's like, yes, honey, that's normal. Everyone has a bone there. But when I check my other leg to see if there's a bone there, I can't feel a bone there. So I just assumed, okay, it's a leg tumor. But slowly but surely, which I know it's not, I am starting to see lots of other knee bones that I never know I had. So I know that I've got to start some physical therapy. And soon, which I'm also worried about, because doing anything physical for me, like going for a walk, or that's like more than walking to the mailbox, or like doing physical therapy, that kind of thing. When I do it, my body reacts by causing burning skin, like my skin feels like it's been scraped off, which is a symptom of small fiber neuropathy, and I know I've mentioned that to you before. One of the sad things is Advil was one of my go-to medications, for migraines, which I get a lot of. I had one today, and it just helps. It helps overall in my pain, like when I add it with my other pain medication. Now, I used to take anywhere from 9 to 12 Advil a day. I know. But that's when I was working full time, and it was, I either do this or I don't have a job because I have to go home and just lay in bed and want to die. But lately I've been having a lot of stomach pain, which is like right underneath my sternum, kind of where my diaphragm is. And I know that can be costochondritis, but that usually goes all the way around. And this is just like, it just hurts, and it feels tight, and it feels kind of like when you have hunger pains. It feels like that, but like eating doesn't help it, and I'm not even hungry when it happens, so but I never take my meds on an empty stomach. Like, I know better, but I did manage to, I've stayed away from Advil. Like, I gave the whole bottle that we have on hand to Cal, because I was like, I need to just be, the only time to take it for me wouldn't be a desperate moment, like seriously desperate. However, when my stomach does start hurting like that, the only thing that makes it stop is Xanax, which is like, okay. And, I'm not having a panic attack or anxiety. I know that's not why my stomach is hurting. My stomach is hurting because I'm tearing the fuck out of it with Advil, and I need to stop. And also considering all the other meds that I put into my system, which really is just tramadol, which is a pain medication, and then Soma, which is a muscle relaxer, and, Xanax. I try to save the Xanax for either when I have procedures where I know I'm going to freak out, or like going to the dentist, or for when I am having one of those tummy episodes, because they can get bad, and I've had to go to the hospital for them before. At the time, I didn't. At the time, that could have been costochondritis, because those would wrap all the way around, but they would always start in that area under my sternum, and so I just associate that pain with going to the emergency room what felt like every other day to get pain management. And unfortunately, the pain management, the drugs they give me just make the stomach hurt worse, so it's like I don't even bother going anymore. But usually laying, or like, instead of laying on my back, I flip over and I tuck my knees under my tummy, and then I get a bunch of pillows and I just lay on those to where they're pressing against my stomach, because pressure feels good when it hurts. And a heating pad. I put a heating pad there, and then of course I take my Xanax and I just wait for it to pass, because it's really bad. trying to think if there's any good news. We find out soon here if Kelly gets this job. So if any of you are the praying kind or the sending out good energy vibes kind or whatever it is, if you would please send that out, because we desperately need him to get a job. I'm still applying for disability. That's a whole other nightmare. I'm trying to get this Cobra thing figured out, because I paid my first month of Cobra, but now they have open enrollment, but I can't find anywhere on the website that I go to how to enroll. Like, I'm already enrolled, but I don't know how to do the open enrollment thing because there's no choice. So I have to spend all day on the phone with these people tomorrow, which I'm not looking forward to, but it is what it is. So anyway, I don't really have anything else. Oh, there was a show, because I like to talk about shows that I like to binge. So there was a show called Messiah that was on Netflix, and it ended up in like their trending or their top 10, somewhere in there. And I was like, okay, this looks interesting. And it was really, really, really good. And, like I told you, you guys know that I don't like, the Bible's not my jam. I don't believe in the Bible in terms of like it's the word of God. And the reason I don't believe it is because it has been so distorted over the centuries to meet man's, and I'm not saying men, I'm saying man's, like humans, man's agenda, whatever that is. And so that's why I don't, believe it. But I do believe in a creator, which I've said before. But I know the story of Jesus, because I did used to be, and I've never been like religious, but the religion I grew up with was Methodist. And when we did go to church, me and Kelly, when we were adults, it was non-denominational. And but I've always kind of known the story. Like, I found the Bible very interesting to read. I've never read the whole thing, but like I know enough to get by. And Messiah was really good, because it was kind of like a modern take on, I guess, Jesus when he first came to be what he was to become, right? Like, he could be a cult leader. I don't know. It just because, you say cult leader, it doesn't mean like he's an asshole. There might be other cults out there that are perfectly fine, where there's just a leader that inspires people and they live in a commune or whatever, and everybody loves it and they're fine. I don't know. Nobody ever talks about the good ones, I don't know if there are good ones. But from what I've read of the Bible, it sounds like Jesus was if he was a cult leader, Jesus was a good cult leader. Or just, a leader or whatever. Anyway, so this show starts. It's called Messiah, but it's this gentleman. I think he came. Now, forgive me. This is not me trying to be rude or dismiss the different countries or whatnot. However, whenever Jesus and his disciples are on the scene, or other people that speak his language, it's all the thing with the words closed captioned or whatever. So, and my ADD self, it's complicated for me to read it and comprehend it and watch the show at the same time. So I'm sure there was some stuff I missed, but I believe he was born in Israel. We find out later, but he came from Palestine, I believe, and crossed, it started with just him in the desert, which with a bunch of his followers, and then and there's a lot of similarities to like what he does to Jesus in the Bible, in terms of like he had a lot of followers. I know he went out into the desert with no food or water for 40 days. I don't necessarily know if he led all of his followers out into the desert with no food or water, but this one did. Like, they call him Il Masai, but on the other end of this, there's this CIA lady, who, while she's in the CIA, she's also trying to get pregnant. But you can tell she's using IV treatment or IVF treatment because she's sticking herself with needles in her tummy. Turns out her husband is dead, and they had some of his sperm, I think because he had cancer. And so she's been trying to get pregnant with his baby, but she keeps miscarrying, which we find out later runs in the family. Her mom had a bunch of miscarriages before she had the CIA agent. I think her name is Sarah. I'm honestly not sure. But anyway, fucking fruit flies just kill me. Anyway, so the CIA agent she becomes aware of him, and so she's all about finding out and making sure like he's not a big major terrorist out there in a sleeper cell ready to wreak havoc on Israel. But anyway, he's in the desert. They get to the Israel borderline, and it's kind of like when Moses parted the Red Sea, except he just takes the gate and just pulls it to the side like you would a curtain. Like, that's how easy and light it was for him. So I kind of related that to the parting of the Red Sea. But he's the only one that crossed into Israel. Everyone else stayed back. And then, of course, as he stepped into Israel, everybody descended upon him. Like, they all saw him coming. And so, anyway, the whole show is very good. It's a series. It was not picked up for a second year, which means it was left on a cliffhanger, and we don't know what the fuck is happening. And I read that a lot of the problem was that it was some of these things they were doing were too similar to, like, for instance, there's a vice president that does something pretty bad that causes death and destruction. So that's all I'm gonna say. But and I think a lot of people didn't didn't like this guy being thought of as Jesus. And I'm like, well, first of all, it's a TV show. But it was very interesting and intriguing because all the while, like, he seems like he knows shit. Like, when he talks to you, he knows shit that, like, he could never know because you didn't tell him, and it's not shit you would have put on Facebook or any social media. But he's just so calm. He seems very loving and kind and compassionate, and but other people on the CIA and government are trying to find out who this guy really is. And so you're like, oh my God, is he the real thing, or is he not the real thing? Is he the real thing? Is he not the real thing? I wanted him to be the real thing only because I love movies with hope. And I feel like I just would rather him be a good guy, what he portrayed, than turns out he's just a, piece of shit that's just gonna, fucking bomb you or whatever. But, it was just a really cool show, and I'm super pissed that it was canceled. And part of me wonders if in America, most of us Christians grew up with what I call white Jesus, where he's got blue eyes and long, beautiful blonde hair, and he's totally white. And everybody's always made the argument that, like, okay, look, if Jesus was from Israel, he's not gonna look like blonde hair, blue-eyed white dude. He's just not. And this guy didn't. And he was also super hot, by the way. No disrespect to Jesus, but this guy, that was the actor that portrayed him, was very attractive. A little too small for my taste, but still very cute and a great actor. The whole show was really good in terms of acting. So, but apparently it's not coming back for a second season. I still think it's worth a watch for you guys, because it was interesting to pick up on some of the similarities. And it just kind of goes like, oh, ding, in your head, like, oh, I know this. This seems familiar, that kind of thing. So if you're inclined, that's a good show to watch. And it's just called Messiah, Messiah. But just put in Netflix and type in Messiah and it'll pull up. I'm not sure what other show, like, I know I have a bunch of other shows that I've watched. I just can't think of any right now, but I will for sure let you know. And a couple people have asked me to address some specific things in my videos, and I have not gotten around to that, and so I apologize. I will work on that. It's just that with the broken foot situation and the applying for disability situation and the whole Cobra situation, there's a lot going on. Now, that doesn't sound like it's a lot, but for me, it is a lot. So, I'm doing my best. But anyway, I did want to check in with you and just let you know what's up. And I will talk to you soon. I hope you have a beautiful weekend coming up here. And I'll talk to you later. Okay? Mwah!